We are back in San Francisco covering the run-up to the Super Bowl, one of the events every year that defines America. Those defining moments are also the focus of our series, USA to Z, celebrating our country's 250th birthday this summer. This week, we are up to E for equality. And the road to equality for all Americans has required some bloodshed and sacrifice. As we mark 100 years of Black History Month, we visited the site of a South Carolina bowling alley. It was once defined by exclusion and is now being reclaimed and redefined. The small town of Orangeburg, nestled between Columbia and Charleston, is packed with history of its own.
We've had about 70,000 people to come.
Cecil Williams is a local historian, born and raised here. He remembers a time when race determined where you could go and where you couldn't.
In 1968, most of South Carolina, and especially most of Orangeburg, had already opened its doors to people of color. But there were a few pockets of resistance, and one of them was a bowling lanes here.
All-Star Bowling Lanes sits just minutes from Orangeburg's two historically Black universities, Claflin and South Carolina State. In the 1960s, owner Harry Floyd refused to integrate.
Mr. Floyd, why have you not permitted Negroes to bowl at your bowling alley here in Orangeburg?
Because I have my own customers that patronize me 52 weeks a year. They support me year in and year out. I need no other business.
Students from both universities organized protests. What began as peaceful attempts to enter the bowling alley on February 6, 1968, escalated into a confrontation between students and police.
A glass was accidentally broken in a window where we were all standing around. Police authorities really overreacted. Those with weapons started pulling them from their right side.
On February 8th, after days of demanding entry into the bowling alley, a new confrontation between students and police erupted and took a deadly turn, now known as the Orangeburg Massacre.
It was an attempt to integrate this bowling alley last Monday night that started this state of emergency. It is the last totally segregated business in Orangeburg.
What do you remember about that day specifically?
I think there were around 30 highway patrolmen and 200 National Guardsmen that were in the streets. About 10 o'clock that evening, highway patrolmen began firing on the students, killing 3 and injuring 28.
And when did you get to the scene?
The next morning, I arrived on the campus, and I looked down on the ground and I saw shells and other things that were on the ground. I picked up about a dozen. The FBI later confiscated 5 of them. 2 were lost, and I have 5 that are remaining with me. This still yet today rings very heavily on my heart because I knew the students that were photographed. I had photographed them for the yearbook.
3 students, Henry Smith, Samuel Hammond, and Delano Middleton, were killed. 9 officers were charged with using excessive force, but later acquitted.
Actually, that event could have been worse. But this proves to me there are more good people than there are bad.
Of course.
The attention went out for 30 highway patrolmen to load their weapons, but only 9 obeyed. Obeyed one of the highest ranked law enforcement officers to load their weapons and begin shooting the students.
South Carolina State College remains closed today following last Thursday night's bloody battle in which 3 Negroes were killed and 36 others injured in a fight with police.
The only conviction was protest organizer Cleveland Sellers, who served 7 months on a riot charge. He was pardoned 25 years later. All-Star Bowling Lanes stayed open for nearly 40 more years, integrating only after continued community pressure before closing permanently due to financial issues in 2007. Now, new owner Ellen Zuschholz is leading efforts to restore the historic site with nonprofit and federal support.
This is the future for this city, and it's going to be a place of history and remembrance, but it's also going to be a place to have a really good time and for the community to come together.
Right.
And I believe that this is the key to reconciliation.
Michael Butler is the mayor of Orangeburg and a resident of the city for more than 4 decades.
What is your response to people who may say, you know what, we understand that preserving history can be helpful, but at the same time, how about we just leave it alone?
You can't move forward until you get healed or you're able to deal with the pain of the past. So we have to find a common ground to move forward.
This history must be told. You can't just tuck it neatly under a rug and forget about it.
Of course.
History is something like freedom. You have to work at it. It doesn't come free. Freedom is not free. It has to be earned. And generation after generation, sometimes we have to kind of tweak it again.
And I know that tragedies from the past can be painful, but being able to remember helps us reconcile. And speaking of that, the bowling alley is set to open later this year, which really means a lot to the community and to what has happened before. Vlad?
Yeah, Nate, it's the remembering in that it's living history. This happened only a few short years ago, and we are lucky that there are still people around to talk about it.